Hi everyone, I'm Carol Macrae from Mind Body Magic, and as many of you know, I'm a Reiki master and teacher, and I'm going to demonstrate a full body treatment here with Mary. I'm only going to spend a few moments to go over the hand positions, but I want to thank Mary for popping in today, and very lucky to be doing this, thank you. And so we're going to just go over those hand positions. Now when we start our treatment, we always just think about the 3 pillars of Reiki. So the first pillar is just calling our energy in. So this is called Chirio, and we want to just lift the hands up. In some martial arts, this is called opening up to heaven, or calling your energies in, we call it in Reiki. We also think of it as a Reiki shower, so we think about that big cloud of Reiki coming down into our hands. So we're calling our energy in. Some people say, fill me up like a cup. Others say Reiki on. Sometimes I will say, as I now call on all Reiki masters, past, present and future, all angels, spiritual guides and those that wish to be with us here today, I ask that I am a hollow reed and that this energy flow through me for the highest good of all concerned. So the next thing we want to do is gasso or gasho. And we want to just bring the hands into prayer position in front of the heart and just start to focus on that energy flowing into our hands from our heart. Then we want to do the third part of that, which is called Reiki Ho. So we bring the hands to the third eye, and we're just now asking that our hands are guided to where they need to go. And so we just know that from here on, our hands can be guided. Now the first part of the treatment is just smoothing the aura out 3 times, and the aura is generally 2 to 3 inches or 4 to 6 centimeters above the body. And so we're going to smooth that out, and we can feel little bits here and there, knees and things that might be just feeling like they're a little bit lumpy or uneven. So we're smoothing that aura out. Then we want to just use biosyn scanning, or just scanning the body. So again, we can bring the hands in, you'll feel that kind of blanket over the body. And now I'm just scanning to feel any hot spots, and there's some stuff going on over the heart. And I'm not sure if you can feel that. Yep. Solar plexus, so heart is our forgiveness, compassion, kindness, love. Solar plexus is our personal power. The tummy area, which is making sure we start to take time to nurture the self. And the hips, problems moving forward in life. Knees are to do with stubbornness, ego and pride. So we've got a few little areas that we want to be working on here, but everybody has something. The next thing we want to do is just get a tissue and place it over the eyes so that we're not putting hands directly on those eyes. And so I'm just going to go very quickly through these hand positions. This is not directly a treatment, but it's just a little class lesson. First position is hands over the eyes, and I'll usually sit down. My hands are now covering the third eye as well as the normal part of the eyes, and this energy will flow to the brain and the areas that are in need in this part of the body. We're also looking at the chakras, so we're talking about the third eye chakra here. And we'll generally leave those hands till we start to feel the energy the same, well, the energy just flowing, and it'll sort of turn on. You'll feel the switch in a moment if I was to stay here a little longer. But I'm just going to move on and go through the hand positions now. Next position, so we take the tissue away, and the next position's over those temples. Next position is the ears. The next position is the back of the head. So we're gently rolling the head from one side to the other, and just cradle that head and slightly pull so we're straightening up through the spine and right into those spinal vertebrae, just pulling everything and gently giving a little stretch. So when we're working in this part of the head, we're also thinking about the fight or flight center, the occipital part of the skull, the amygdala, all of those things that will calm down any emotional trauma. Next position is around the throat. So we're bringing our hands like this Fingers joined, but not actually pressing over the throat. And just imagine that we have little spray cans in these hands and we're sending that energy into the throat chakra. And often when people have things going on in their throat, it's because they've got words they need to say to others or swallowed tears or emotions. And as this starts to clear, we're really working on helping that person to speak their truth from the heart. The next position we want to move to the side, so we can stay in physical contact or we can stay in energetic contact as we move to the side. And the T position's next. Now, I always put the hand that's closest to the head as the top of that T, so we're making it like this. So if I was on the other side, it would be like this. So, first hand comes over that heart chakra, other hand across the top. Now, if we've got somebody that's really tall, it might be down like this. If we've got someone that's short, it might be a little further up. We can slide that bottom hand. We can also, if it's somebody who has larger breasts or is somebody that has touch issues, just move that hand right down to the solar plexus or take it above and below. So we're just working, and the general intention is to work through the whole area of the heart, the lungs, and all those areas around through the chest area. So anything to do with the heart, of course, is to clear any issues to do with emotions. Anything to do with the lungs is anxiety. So the lungs are usually where we hold a lot of fear. And so if we're working in this area, again, our intention is to clear any of those emotional blockages. But do remember, it's not us doing the healing. We are just a hollow reed. It's a partnership between us, the person on the table, and the universe. And it means that we've got to let our ego go. So we don't always have to be thinking about where I want this energy to go, because that's our ego trying to send it where we think it needs to be directed. But instead, as we just allow the universe to direct that to where it needs to go, it will work out better for that person and for their highest good. Now, in one of my other videos I've posted recently, there's a self-treatment as well. And the hand positions are the same if we're doing them on another person or ourselves. But it's always good to really just get an opportunity to see a demonstration on another person. So the next position after the T, that's the technical correct position for here, or we might be here, is the solar plexus. Now we're going to use our hands. One hand slides under the other over the solar plexus chakra. Then we move the hands across and down, thumb to thumb, and then that hand goes across. Walk the body, or walk the hands down the body. Sometimes if you've got a really tall person, you might have 3 or 4 hand widths of across. And sometimes you might only have 2. Then the next position on the body is the V. So the hand that goes closest to the head points down, the other hand points up, and we're going over the ovaries or the area of the body where there may have been ovaries at some stage if it's a woman. Our intention here is to work on that sexual or sacral chakra, and if we've got somebody that has touch issues, we might do that up in the aura. If we're working with a male, I'll often do a reverse V, so I'll be working right on the outside. My intention is still to work through this whole area, and sometimes we have to go a little wider because we want to make sure we're not encroaching on someone else's personal space. Next position we want to work on is the hip. So technically it's at the crease of the hip and the knee. Sometimes I'll put my hands sideways because it just feels a little bit more comfortable and easy. And again, the hip positions are more about the root chakra, so it's about feeling safe and strong and grounded, and it's survival issues in the outside world. Then we're going to walk our hands down from the knee to the ankle. Then we do the foot. And when we're doing this part of the foot, there is also a part on the bottom of the foot called the well springs, which is right in the middle of that foot. And that's about giving more life force energy to everybody as well, and helping that person feel safe and grounded. Then we're going to come to the other side. So other hand, other foot. I'm just leaning in so they can see me. Then the other ankle and knee. And the other knee and the hip. There or there. And I'll generally finish with the hands on the tummy. So now we want to just get that client to roll over, and before they roll, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have a little head pillow ready, and move the pillow from their knees so that their knees don't bend backwards. Move this pillow and just pop that down so that they'll be nice and comfortable. And then we're going to gently lift their feet and pop the pillow here, because the reason is we don't want their knees feeling like they're bent backwards, but it also helps with the alignment of the back. Now, if I've got somebody that has a bad back, I may even just bring that head pillow and pop it under their tummy so that the back stays in a nice straight alignment, so it'll just help relieve any back discomfort. Now, what I will also do when I'm doing a treatment is I will start on the back by just doing 3 of these beautiful strokes, because it just settles the client back down again into that bed so that they're all nice and comfortable and they feel safe and secure. Then I'll often do a little thing I kind of made up, and I just think of it as cat's claws, just stretching. So we just do that right along the spine. And again, it's all about clearing energy blocks, but it's also about helping that client to feel safe and secure so that they can just relax and enjoy that energy flow. Now I'll move that pillow. First position on the back, of course, is the shoulders. So when I come here, I'll often just smooth those shoulders out a few times, generally probably 3 times. And then first position's over the shoulders. Next position is actually moving down the body, but I will quite often, this is an additional position I use that's not technically one of Master Sui's hand positions. So I'll often put a hand behind the back of the neck and one just over this first little part of that back, because again we're working in the shoulder blade area, but again the back of the heart chakra. And quite often people have a lot of emotional stuff caught in their back. Anything from the back is often to do with what is it I don't want to look at back there. So it can be things from the past, it can be just emotional things that we haven't let go of from the past as well. And it can also be anything to do with the spine is not feeling supported by life. So any spinal issues are often about not feeling safe or not feeling supported by those around us or by life itself. Now the next position is to come to the side, and again we have those hands walking across and down. But this time we're going to leave a little gap so the energies of the spine can move up and down that governor vessel just to get everything balanced. So we start with the hands in this position, then thumb to thumb, hand goes over, thumb to thumb, hand goes over, thumb to thumb, depends on how long their body is, hand goes over. Next position is the T over the tailbone, but I will always just bring both hands together and just place them over the lower back, because anything to do with the lower back, again, it's survival stuff, but it's also your sexual chakra and your root chakra, so it's often to do with money issues or worrying about finances or worrying about your job or anything to do with support. Most often is connected to this lower back area when people have got things going on here. So then we might go straight and do the T, and again over the tailbone, hand just comes on top of that. And the final position for a Sui Reiki is the hands on the hips. Again for the root chakra, so our intention is to send that up so it clears right through. Now if I have someone with any issues like sciatic pain or problems that are connected to that lower back, I will quite often do a reverse V, and then what I tend to do is I'll drag that energy down. So I might put a hand on the hip and I'll leave the hand there till I feel that energy reconnect. Then I'll move it down to the knee and I'll just wait till I feel the pulse join up in both hands. Then the back of the heel, the other heel. And what I'm doing here is crossing the energies over, so it goes from one side of the other, one side of the body to the other, as we do in polarity training. And here, and back to this hip. Then I'll come back down the other side. So back of the sciatic nerve just coming from that lower back area, back of the knee with the other hand, the heel, the other heel, and the other knee, the other hip, and again back to the hip. Now, if somebody has a lower back problem, I will often also bring one hand to the opposite shoulder, and my intention is for that energy to be traveling across through that pathway, clearing any blocks, just joining things up, and to the other side, and again feeling that pulse connecting between the hands. So once we've finished that treatment, again I will often draw all the way down 3 times, and 3 of the little cat stretches, and then I'll just say, I'm now sealing the energy into your aura so the healing will continue. And again, I'm imagining these little spray cans coming from my hands, filling up her aura with light. Because what we know is when we do a Reiki treatment, the energy will keep working for days after they've had that treatment. And what we really have done is simply clear that energy block, because when we've got emotional things going on in our life, it can cause a block in the flow of our energy field or our aura. And when we're doing Reiki, we're just pumping energy back into the field, so it will clear the blockage. And once that energy block's cleared, it will speed up the healing, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So we continue to clear the blocks, and then the body, mind system will do its own healing. It will then have the opportunity to heal without the blockages there. So, thank you for watching. That is very basic hand positions for a treatment on another person. Namaste, everyone.